Hello everyone, this is Greg from Mystery Honey. Today I am going to be dodging the rain, it seems. Now let's show you what it's going to be looking like today. Yay! Lots of rain! Woohoo! So yeah, it's supposed to be showers all day, so I'm going to be dipping in and out of going into the hives. Now I don't need to do any inspections today. What I do need to do is, because it's been 2 weeks since I was last here, I had a market stall last weekend, so I've not been in for 2 weeks. What I need to do is check for food, so I'm going to be doing some hefting, and I'm going to try and get those Formic Pro strips off today. I didn't get a chance last week or the last 2 weeks to move the hive from the production apiary. So my hope is today is to go there and give them a bit of fondant. I don't want to give them too much food because then they'll get too heavy for me to lift. I have noodly arms, so I don't want to make them too heavy to lift, especially when they're on 2 boxes. But I do need to make sure they've got food, especially because it's just not stopped raining for 2 weeks. It's just not stopped. It is ridiculous. I think we had one good day, and that was during the market stall, and that's it. It's just been horrible. The temperature has just dropped suddenly as well. It sucks. It really does suck. If I find any hives that are light in my other apiaries, though, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit them with some 2-to-1 solution or some inverter B, depends what I've got at hand. So yeah, I'm going to get my suit on. Oh, it sounds like the rain might be slowing down. Okay, so I'm going to go get my suit on, I'm going to get a smoker lit, and I'm going to run as fast as I can to get under the cover of the trees. Let's get cracking. Right, so the main protocol for these ones is that they've got enough food. I've checked they are queen right last week. So I'm just going to see how much they weigh. So I'm going to do that by hefting. I've shown you how to heft before, but I'll go through it again. So what you want to do is you want to extend your arm fully, try and find somewhere to hook. If it's on a nuke, choose one of the longer ends, like that. Find somewhere to hook, and then just try one by one to use the different fingers to try and lift the hive or the colony. Nukes around this time of year, when you're going into winter, for them to be full of honey, there'll probably be about 3 for me. You have to try and check yourself, because some people are stronger than me, well, the majority of people are stronger than me, and some people are weaker than me, so you have to try and figure out yourself. When a hive is ready for winter, it is glued to the stand. It feels like you can't lift it. Generally about 15 kilograms, something like that, that'll do them for winter. Some people send them through with 10 kilograms, some people send them through with 5, but I go for about 15. So when I try and lift them with just my fingers and I can't lift them at all, that's when I know that a hive is ready for winter. So this is a nuke colony, so I'm just going to heft this and see what it is, okay? Oh, so that's just 1, 2 is okay, 3 is easy. Right, okay, so they're not at the stage I want them to be at, so I'm going to have to feed these guys if I can. So let's have a quick look. There's definitely bees there, so this is quite a strong colony. It wasn't that strong originally, but then I've shaken out a couple of nukes to it that I found were drone laying queens. So I've shaken them in, and now this is probably quite a strong colony. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to open them up, just do a quick check, and then I'm going to get a feeder and put a feeder on. So I'll be back in a sec. So when you're dealing with a nucleus colony and it's got a wooden crown board, or just a colony that's got a wooden crown board in general, that's fine, to be honest. The crown board, that's wood's fine, the bees will keep themselves insulated. But what I do, I give them just an extra layer of insulation. The feeder that I'm going to be giving them as well will mean that the roof is slightly off, so you don't get that dead space air pocket between the crown board and the roof to increase the insulation. So putting this here, so when I put the feeder on, there is still some insulation here. It's got a nice hole cut in, so it means that when I get this feeder, so that hole there should fit quite well there, and the bees will make their way up and get to it. So I'm just going to do a quick check, see what they're like. So they will be clustering because it's cold today. So that is a good cluster. That is on every single frame. The seams are completely full. Yeah, so I'm pretty happy with that. They're pretty decent for going into winter. All I need to do is feed them up. So because it's a nucleus colony, they won't need as much food as a hive. So they'll probably only need a few kilograms to get through winter. and I also give them fondant over winter as well. So these guys will be fine with just a single fill up of this, probably, if they can take it all down. So I'm going to move that out of the way, put the insulation on, and I'm going to put this over the top as well. Try and line it up as best you can with the hole. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a sock, or a cut off bit of sock anyway, stick that there, so it means the bees have something to grab onto, so they don't all just go in and get drowned. So 2 seconds. So as you can see there, it's just the elastic bit of a sock. I just cut that off. It was a holey sock, so it doesn't really matter that I've cut this off really. Make sure you clean the socks before you use them for the bees. It doesn't really make too much of a difference, but you wouldn't like to drink your food through a dirty sock, would you? So just put it on and just slip it on over the feed a bit there. As you can see, I'll push it in as hard as I can and make sure that the bottom bit there sinks into the actual floor, because what that'll do is that'll wick the syrup up, and it means the bees will come up. There's no way that they can get to the water or to the food, so they're not going to drown, and they can just sip up all of the sugary goodness from the sock. So place that back over, place the cup over, so it means that they don't overflow into the food. And now I'm just going to get some food and put it into there. So I'm using Invert Bee. So this is from last year. I bought a shed load of the stuff and it didn't sell, unfortunately, so I'm using it for myself. It's really good stuff. This is better than 2-to-1 sugar solution because it's pretty much honey as needed. It's inverted sugar. So all the bees need to do is they need to come in, sup it up, put it straight in the cells, and it won't go off. It's already ready for them to take in for winter. So it's really, really good stuff. If you can get it somewhere, then I'd suggest getting it over 2-to-1 solution, because one, it means you don't have to mix up the 2-to-1 sugar solution, which is pain. You don't have to explain to Asda or Tesco or wherever you get your sugar from why you're buying 100 bags of their sugar. And yeah, it doesn't go off either. So that's the benefit, is that if you get a jerry can and you don't use it all up, you can use it for the following season. So yeah, I'm going to stick the lid on like that. So that's going to stop any bees from getting in and robbing it. In fact, what I'm going to do before I do that is I'm just going to dribble a bit of food down this hole here, and that's hopefully going to tempt the bees up. So all you do is see how it's dripping like that? Just drip a bit into the hole. Just make sure you drip it down the sides, not directly in, because you don't want to drown the bees, you just want to tell them the food's here. So there's drops going down now onto the bees. What will happen is that the bees will work their way up and they'll start taking that food down. So I probably won't do an inspection next weekend. Probably the weekend after that I'll do an inspection, if I'm doing any at all, and we'll have a look and see how much they've taken of that. So what I'll do is, should I make a little line? I'll make a little line on the thing so we know whereabouts the food was up to. So how do we tell? Wonder, does that work? There we go. That's a better way of doing it. Okay, so we are going to do it. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to draw a line there where it is now. And then when I come back in a week or 2 weeks, we'll see how much is left. Because I may not use it all of that. That's about a litre and a half. So that's pretty good. All right, we'll move on to the next one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the lid on, like so. That'll stop any water from getting in. And then I'm going to put a brick on top to stop it from being blown off. There you are. So that is now sorted for now. That's all I needed to do with that one. So this one, I need to go in and take the strips out, the Formic Pro strips, if the bees haven't already removed them. Anyway, so I can already see that these bees are clustered here. So I don't want to disturb that cluster too much. So I'm not going to go into the top box. I'm just going to crack it slightly and try and pull the things out. So what I'm going to do also is get my smoker, just so if there's any issues, I can smoke them out of the way, because I don't want bees to get crushed. Because at this time of year, if the queen gets killed, the colony is dead. It's very important that you don't want to kill the queen right now. So get the smoker going, and we'll see what goes on. Let's crack the box. Ooh, they have definitely propellized that down. So I may get attacked, because the bees do not like to be disturbed when it gets cold and rainy, especially around winter time. So as you can see, they've already started to take the paper away from this. These can now be composted, so that's good. So the Formic Pro has finished. The treatment's done. It was over and done with after 10 days. It's been in here for about 2 weeks. It's 14 days. So yeah, this is over and done with, and the bees have started to dispose of the paper. If I'd have left it over winter, I'd come back and it'd probably have all gone, to be honest. So, right, that's all I need to do. I'm going to put the lid back on, and then we'll heft it and see if it needs food. Right, so, let's see. So, we've got 4 fingers. Oh, just 3 fingers, no. 2 fingers, no. 1 finger, no. So, this is virtually okay. I'd probably say I'd be happy with that going into winter. I'm only just moving it with my 4 fingers, so I'm going to leave these guys. I'm not going to put food on. I'm going to lock them up, and that's them done for winter now. What I will do, though, is in November, I'll probably come and just give them all a heft. If this is starting to weigh lighter, then I may give them a little last-minute feed then. But if not, then I'll put some fondant on them then, and we'll just start the fondant train in November. But they should be fine with that. That's just being able to do it. Yeah, so I'm happy with that. I'm going to close them up. These guys are doing great. Right, and we'll see them in January, I suspect. Right, on to the next ones, I guess. Right, so we've been having issues with the stingy hive. I know there's some bees out here that look like they're still alive, but not well. So, but I'm issues in that the queen for this one is not very good. She's not doing great. She's only laying a few frames at a time. Now I'm hoping that after the Formic Pro, she's sort of decided to get into the rhythm a bit more, but we'll see. So there's a lot less bees in here than I saw last time. 1, 2, 3 seams, 4 seams in this box are empty, which isn't great. We want the bees to be filling this box. As you can see, they're not doing that. Now there is still warmth coming through, so they're not dead yet. Oh, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this off. So this super is enough food for them for winter. I'm not going to feed these guys at all. So, but as you can see, they're not really using these frames here, which isn't good. I'll have to open this up and have a look. They're not going to like me for it, but I want to see what the queen's up to, because if the queen's not doing great, then they're going to be in trouble. Right, so they're not happy with me, so I'm just going to do a quick puffed smoke. It is cold, so it's cold today. It's about 10 degrees C, so a lot of people say don't go into a hive, it's 10 degrees C. In the UK, if that was the case, then you'd probably only get to see bees in summer. So it means you won't be able to do half the stuff that you need to do. So I don't listen to that anymore. They also say don't go in when it's raining. But as you've seen, I go in when it rains because you need to get into your bees. The bees, I've never seen them... I've never seen chilled brood from me opening up the frames. What I've seen chilled brood from is when the hive doesn't have enough bees to maintain heat in the box, in the cavity that they're in. So see how that's only half? You may get chilled brood over here because the bees just aren't interested in looking after the brood because they're trying to keep the main body warm. So. Try and be careful. So there's no eggs on these frames here. There's loads of space for eggs on these frames, but there's just nothing. So the queen is sticking to the side for some unknown reason. So this colony may not make it through winter, and it's getting to the stage where I don't really want to sacrifice some of the colonies. Like the laying pattern isn't great. She is laying workers, so that is worker brood right there. So that's good. We have got a bit of drone brood here. So she is laying up worker brood, but it's a terrible pattern. I don't think this one will make it through winter. But unfortunately, we've got to a stage where I don't really want to sacrifice one of the nukes to save her. But for right now, this queen isn't doing a very good job. And the bees aren't very nice. I know I'm coming in when it's cold, and they don't like that, but they are just hovering over my face. It's horrible. And the mother stung me like crazy, which everyone seemed to enjoy. Yeah, this pattern, it's crap. If I see the queen, then maybe we can do something, but I don't think I'll see the queen. Saying that, I've been surprised before. I've had a colony that was worse than this one, and it came through winter, and then it turned into a really good colony the following spring. The queen just needed a winter to settle. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But to be fair, since the Formic Pros happened, she has laid up all of these frames here, and these are all nice and good, nicely capped, and they look really healthy. So there's that, and there's still eggs coming out. Oh, I don't know. I don't know what to do with you. We'll see. I'll close you up. For goodness sakes, go away. Right. Oh, just pooed all over my hands. Lovely. Thank you for that. That's what bee poo looks like. So, right. Don't remember to smoke yourself. Don't smoke the bees because the bees fly away and you don't. So, alright, I'm just going to close this up. They have brood come in. She hasn't given up the ghost. I don't know. I think I'm just going to leave her to it and see what happens, really. We'll see. See what happens. To be honest, she might be moving upwards, because that's what bees do. She might be in the super, and I just don't know, because I don't ever really check the super, because I know it's full of honey. So she might just be in the up here laying eggs, and she's just doing it vertically. If that's the case, then that's the case. Quick look. Don't think there'll be any eggs up here, but surprised before. It's just food. Food. Okay. Yeah, I'm just going to leave these guys to it and see what happens. That's the worst that can happen, eh? Right. Let's close it up. Hopefully these flying bees will get away from me. This one's trying to sting right in the face. Go away. Right, so I'm going to heft this. I'll do it in front of you guys so you can see my hands, I think. Yep. So as you can see, my arm is fully stretched. I'm just going to lift with my fingers. So 1 finger, no. 2 finger, no. 3 finger, no. 4 finger, oh, just. So I'm going to do what I'm doing with the other ones. I'm going to let these guys eat the food they've got, and then in November, December time, I'm going to start hefting them, and we'll see if I need to give them some fondant. Yeah, the queen's not great in this. She's not great, but she is doing okay. I'll definitely need to replace her next year, but we'll see how she does over winter. I think it's going to be interesting. She can either flourish in spring, and then we'll be like, wow, can't believe that she was crap at the beginning and now she's amazing, or they may end up having troubles over winter, but we'll see. That's all we can do, sadly. Right, we'll go through these quick. So we're going to heft. So 1 finger. Yeah, 2. Okay, so these guys need food. So I'm going to get a feeder for them. Right. When you're doing this, make sure you've got a bag of rags, because they come in. So what I'm going to do is take the lid off. There we go. Right, so these guys are clustered. So they're doing a really good job of clustering there. They need more food. I'm not happy with that. There need to be at least 3 fingers, and they're on 2. So I'm going to put a feeder on. So where's my smoker? There. So smoke them down. Get away from the top, you guys. And then I'm going to put a feeder on. Like that. Right, so now they're in there. I'm going to put some rags in. It's a bit of a big one. So you don't need a lot of fabric in these things, just some. Right, that'll do. Just needs to be something that can soak up the sugar syrup and allows the bees to stand on it and get some grip. So do that, push that in there, put the lid on for now, and then I'm going to put some food in here for them. So these guys were weighing quite heavy before the downpour, so I think they've probably used a lot of the food up whilst it's been terrible weather. So I'm going to give them about 1 litre. Right, that one's done. There's already bees in the roof, so what I might do is just leave them to it. Seems like they're finding a way to it anyway. Yeah, I'm just going to leave these guys to it. That'll be fine. Right, hefting for these guys now. So this is the colony that I combined last week. The top box had no queen in it, and the bottom box did have a queen in it. I ended up finding a load of colonies that were either queenless or had drone-laying queens, which I wasn't happy about. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to heft this now, quickly, and then we'll make a decision. So I can do it 1, 2, easy, 3 is easy. As I said, nukes, I kind of want to have about 3 fingers worth of strength to lift. So that is lighter than I want. But because I've combined these recently, and the weather's actually changed a bit, it's actually warmed up a little bit, I'm going to do a quick inspection of this one. I don't really want to do inspections of them, but I'm going to do inspections of this one just to make sure there's a queen that's laying in there. The last thing we want is to do a combination, and then for it to fail, and then me to feed them up, and then the colony to die over winter. So, quick check. So this top box isn't as full as I'd like, so I'd like it to be completely jam-packed with bees, but what that means is that the bees that were in here have made their way down. So let's go and have a look at this box. Oh. So as you can see, they've chewed their way through that paper, and this is looking a lot better. So this is looking like it's a lot more full, which is positive. That's what we want. So take this newspaper off, don't need it anymore, shake it so the bees that are on it come off. But now that is from 2 colonies to 1 colony. I'm just going to check, make sure I can see eggs and some worker brood, and then we should be happy as Larry, really. What we don't want to see is queen cells. If we see queen cells, it means that the combination has failed, they've killed the queen, and it's all gone to pop. What I don't want to do is lose the queen, so I'm just going to have a quick look for green dot. There's no eggs in the middle frame. We do have some capped brood, which has emerged, but we are not seeing any eggs. Now sometimes the bees can go on brood breaks, especially in winter time. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to check for queen cells now. So I'm just going to move you up here for now. So if there's queen cells, it means that they've killed the queen that was in here. And then they've had to make some new queens, which is never good, especially at this time of year. So what I'm seeing is some torn down queen cells. What I'm going to do is I'm going to shake this off. I'll show you what I mean. What we have here is a torn down queen cell. You can see whereabouts it was, and that was the base of the queen cell. So they've torn it down there. So that doesn't bode well for this colony. It's been 2 weeks since I was last in. So in that case, it takes a week for an egg to turn into a queen cell, a sealed queen cell, and then it takes another week for that queen to emerge. So that means that there could be a virgin queen in here. Now in October, that is when drones have started to be kicked out. And I'm not seeing any drones in here at all. So that means that this colony could end up not getting a well-mated queen and could end up dying out. The fact that this torn down cell means that there's possibly a virgin queen running around in here, which is not what I want. That means that it was not a successful introduction. And this is the reason that we inspect, just so we know where things are at. So they've killed the queen off. They've created a virgin queen. And she's probably now out flying around trying to find someone to mate with. Doesn't matter who, because the pickings are slim at the moment, I think. Yeah, so there's no eggs in here whatsoever. Now, if there was no eggs and there wasn't any sign of queen cells, then I'd probably just think they were on a brood break. But I keep finding torn down queen cells. There's 1, 2, 3. That was a sealed one as well. Yeah, so I think there's a virgin queen running around in here. Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear. She was a good queen, this one as well. Nothing ever goes to plan, does it? So look, see how many queen cells. So there's 1, 2, 3 torn down queen cells. There's one here, one here, one here. That's the actual just capped end of it left. Now they wouldn't have swarmed this time of year. So what's happened is they've killed the queen off for some unknown reason, probably the stress of adding another colony to it. And then they've just let one emerge and then killed the rest. Again, it's a shame, but it's just nature. Just have no idea what to do now. Well, I do have an idea. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to feed him and just hope that the queen gets mated. I'll check in another week or so and see if there's eggs. There should be, I hope. And if it's a drone laying queen, then I'll just shake him out in front of another hive. So the amount of nukes I've got for winter is shrinking, which is annoying. So I usually try and have half the amount of nukes to the amount of colonies that I have going through winter. That means that if there's any dead outs, because usually you get 2 or 3 dead outs throughout winter, because it's a horrible time, it means that the bees can be replaced in spring without too much trouble. Yeah, there's a queen cell that's been torn down on this one as well. So, yeah, I definitely think there's been a queen. Right, so what I'm going to have to do now is just close this up. I am going to feed him still. I'll do a quick check up here just to see if there's any eggs up here. I don't think there will be, but I'll check anyway. Sometimes queens like to move up when they lay eggs, because it's warmer the higher you go. Heat rises. So there could be some eggs up here. That's food, and that's food. Just keep looking. So that's another frame of food, and this is an empty frame. So they've chewed this frame up. Let's see. Yeah, so I'm just going to feed him and hope that that queen gets mated somehow. It is still early in October, so there is a chance that she does get mated as well. It's reduced. So what I'm going to do is put that on, put this lid back on, and I'm going to feed him a bit of food. So these jerry cans, when they're full, they are quite heavy. So sometimes the trick is just to go at an angle like that until you get the pour going, and then close it up like that. So what you don't want to do is dribble anywhere really, because if you dribble too much, then it can promote robbing and cause trouble for your bees. And if this is a queenless colony, just a virgin queen in here, then this one's especially weakened. Oh, there you go. There you go. Right, I want to put the lid on. Right, so that is annoying. So this tick that I've got here, I'm going to scrub it out and put a cross on it. This one needs to be checked now until it's queen rates. If the queen comes back and she is drone laying, then I'll just shake them out in front of a hive. Oop. Just do a quick heft of these. One finger. Oh god, this is desperate need of food. Let's see how they look. They're an okay size. Not filling the cavity completely, but they're okay. They can make it through winter, I'd say, if they've got enough food. So let's give them some food. This one heft. 1, 2. Yeah, so these guys need food as well, desperately. Let's see what these guys are up to. Oh, I've properlised it down quite a lot. So they've got food, but they haven't got a lot. Not filling the cavity a huge amount, to be honest. Don't look too healthy. Oh, don't look like they've got a decent size in there. See what's going on. So those are drone cells. Oh no. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. That is not what we want. So this colony has shrunk dramatically. Yeah, so this is a drone laying queen. Oh my god, that's annoying. So this one needs to be shaken out. God damn. Right, that's annoying. I'll find someone to shake you in a minute. Yep, drone laying queens, don't mess around with them. There's no point in trying to fix them. Just find another colony and shake them out. It's the best thing you can do. Oh, it's really annoying. I've got the amount of colonies I wanted for winter. I'm having some absolutely terrible luck. Whoa. Right, heft these guys. They're on 3 boxes, so they should be okay. Yes, these guys are weighing really well. So a quick look. They are building into the roof a bit, but yeah, they're filling this colony. Oh, this is that's 4 fingers just moving it. That's what I want for winter. I'll leave them for now. They're doing fine. Not worried about them. It's a good queen. Right. Let's have a heft of you. So this is really light as well. That was a 1 finger movement. Now this is better. This is what you want. You want a colony that's full, like that. See? All the seams are full. So what I'm going to do is just to calm my own mind. Watch out, you. I'm just going to have a look at one of the middle frames and make sure there's worker brood in here. 'Cause that's the last thing I want is for drone brood to be everywhere. Got lots of, so we've got some worker brood. We've got loads of eggs. That's positive. That's what we want. Quick look. So they are flying at my hand. It is cold, as I said. Oh, nearly. I'm going to get me a smoker. Smoke them out. Sorry, girls. Won't be long. Let's have a quick look. Don't spend any more time. Yep. We've got worker brood. Worker cappings there. That's good. Exactly what we want. Yep, both sides. Amazing. Right, close you up. Doing great. You just need food, so I'm going to give you some food. And you guys will be prepared for winter in no time. Come on. They fly between your fingers. That's really annoying. Right, close you. Close you. There's a bee in my sleeve. Right, let's fill them up. Oh. Right, close this up. There you are. It's better to make the losses now, to be fair. If you lose the colonies now, you can at least do something to bolster the other colonies. So if you think, so as that one was a drone laying queen, just have to toss the bees out and throw them into another hive and hopefully bolster that one. You lose a colony, but in effect you're losing a colony to save another one. It's the best thing to do. What you don't want to do is weaken a colony to strengthen another one and then both of them fail. So you do have to be a bit cutthroat when it comes to winter, but yeah. Right. Now last time I checked this one, it was weighing fine. So that's 3 fingers, 2 fingers, 1 finger. So I need some more food in this one. I opened it up and they were all in the roof. There's still activity, but I think maybe they've eaten all the food in this horrible rain that was in the roof. Oh no, the roof's still got some food in. So the problem with this is that with all this brace comb everywhere, I can't put feeders on this and give them fondant or syrup or anything like that. So these guys are going to have to deal with whatever food they've got now. And I don't know if this is enough food for these guys. It's about a kilogram. It's not a lot. So what I'm going to have to do is I think I'll have to smoke them down and cut away all of this brace comb and then put a feeder on and then let them feed themselves through that. This may take a bit of time, but this is something that I think I need to do. This has loads of lovely honey in it, so what I can do is I can put it out and they can take it back in. But yeah, so I'm going to have to feed them and I'm going to have to get rid of this brace comb. So I'm just going to go get a bucket of some sort, something to put the brace comb in. Right. I think I'm going to make it a bit easier for you to see. Right. So when you've got a brace comb like this is pretty much what you have to do. So you have to, I'd start on the hive first, just to get that clear. So I'm going to smoke the bees away, like so. So as you clear a bit of a spot where the bees are, like that, go away. Just slide very carefully, like do little wiggles to get through. What you don't want to do is just go straight for it, because you can possibly decapitate a bee. Then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to throw the honeycomb into this box here. So smoke, it's very slow, but you have to do this, otherwise you could end up killing the queen or killing the bees. So just doing this very slowly, that's the best thing to do for them, really. And then once you've got it off, if you just give it a quick shake to try and get the bees off, and throw it away. I'd get the little niggly bits first. just because the big bits can be very sticky and cause a bit of a mess. Come on. There we go. So don't worry about all this honey that's coming away from them. They worked very hard to get this honey, I know, and they'll be getting it back, don't worry. Because I'm not doing any more extraction now, so I'm not going to be taking the honey. So I'm going to be feeding it back to them. So I'm being mean to be kind, really, just because in doing this it means I can feed them through winter, so it means that they won't go hungry. Whereas if I leave them as they are, then they could run out of food. This might not be enough honey for them, so put that in there. Now, I do remember looking at it the other day and thinking, oh, there's enough honey there, that'll be fine for them. But looking at it again now, and with the lack of nukes, so I'm running into winter with a lot less nukes than I normally would do, just because of mating problems, really. So that is going to be... so I just want to make sure that the nukes are strong and are good. Stay that way. I don't want to lose any more, really. I must change my gloves after this. So remember, if you get them, just flick them with your nails. They'll go into the hive. Any flakes that go into the between the frames, don't worry about them too much. Right. What I might do, because I haven't actually checked this hive for a bit, I might look into one of the frames and see what's up, what's going on. Because all this could be not for naught if it's a drone laying queen, and I've not had a chance to check, see if it is or not. So I'll get onto that in a second. We'll just have a look, see what the bees are up to. Because they haven't been opened for a very long time. So this stage of the year, it's best to crack the frames like that. So at this part of the frame here, not the lugs, because the lugs will snap off because the propolis is so strong. Watch out, girls. Right, I'm going to have a quick look, see what's going on with this frame here. It's quite stiff. Have a quick look, see. So again, the bees could be on a brood break. I'm not too worried if I don't see any eggs. The queen for this one was a monster. I think I can see eggs anyway. I've got very sticky hands, so I'm going to take this glove off. Let's have a look. Yeah, no eggs yet. Get some fresh gloves on. So no my luck, the queen's up in the roof, but we'll see. So I'm going to put this down here, it's out of the way, so I can see what's going on with the other frames. So that was the centre frame, so that really, out of all of them, should have had the brood on. So we're getting a bit antsy, so I'm smoking a bit. Let's have a quick look. I'll only do the 2 frames and just see. What I don't want to see is queen cells. No eggs. I'll have to see what happens with this one. I don't want to do any more investigations, really, because I don't want to hurt the queen if there is one. Something I've noticed is that there's no drone cells at the moment, so I'm going to count it that there's a queen in here somewhere. She was a beast last time I saw her, and I want to hope that she's still kicking about. Right, I want to clear this box now. make sure you put the frames tight against each other as well, just because it stops the bees from creating brace comb between the frames, and that is an absolute pig to deal with. So, right. I'm just going to smoke this, get the bees off the comb, and I'm going to tap them. Try and get them out. That's the way of getting some of the honeycomb out. Try and get the bees out of here. Okay. Right, what I'm going to do to save me from cutting that away, I'm just going to get another box. Oh, I know what, I'll just use this one. There you go, saves me having to walk all the way over there. Now what I need to do is I need to clear the bees off this comb here and put them in that roof. So there's a lot of spilled honey here, so these bees are probably going to go absolutely ape crap over it. That's why they're all coming to the top and licking like crazy. So just got to be careful. Don't want to kill the queen if she's about. So I'm just going to, some that are stuck in the honey that when it fell, so I'll just peel them out. The bees will clear them up. Right. Remember to use the backs of your nails, they can't sting you through the backs of your nails. Right, nearly done. Oh dear, right. Okay, so that's that done. So the queen's out. I've got rid of all that brace comb. I'm going to get a feeder for them now and fill it. So annoyingly, it's starting to rain now. So right, budge these bees out of the way. Just gently wiggle it down. I want the bees to get out of the way. So just rock it a little bit like that. I'll just lower it down gently. Okay. Right, so I'm going to get some food for them now. Now the benefits of having your nukes and stuff like that on the floor is that if you do knock the queen out by accident, she's usually able to make her way back into the hive. Problem with doing so is that if there's a flood, then your colonies will be underwater, which is never good. Right, so what I've done is I've taken away all that honey in the brace comb, which is a shame, but what I've done instead is I've given them back probably more inverted syrup than they had honey, so they're actually in a better state than they were before. Right, and that's that done for now. I'll come back to it next week or something and make a decision if it needs more food. Right, so I had a bloody nightmare last week with these. These seem to be the only three that were queen right. So open this up. I think these guys have got loads of brace comb as well. Now, I think I'm going to take this brace comb as well. I'm going to feel how strong they are first. Yeah, they definitely need something because there's not enough food in that box. It's a shame. As you can see, they are strong. They're a strong colony. They've all come out to see what the hell's going on, why the lid's off and stuff like that. But they need feeding, and they need that security. I need that security as well. So I want to just take it off. Also going to check in here as well, because if these guys don't have any brood as well, it means that all the bees seem to be on a natural brood break. If that's the case, which means I don't have to worry too much. So I'm just going to have a quick look while I'm at it. You don't really want to be opening colonies on the cusp of winter, because you don't want to be causing any trouble or hurting the queen if she's not. So I'm just going to smoke them again. They are getting a bit antsy, understandably. They thought they were done for winter, and an idiot like me has come and proven wrong. So there's the queen already. So there's the queen right there. I'll bring her up so you can see. And she's gone. So the queen is about. She's there. She's happy. See her again. She's healthy. Now there's no eggs I can see at all. Okay, so it means that they're on a brood break. That is fine. And that explains why I didn't see anything in the imported queen's nuke, and it explains why I didn't see anything in the other nuke as well. So sometimes I can do a brood break at this stage, just because it lets the queen sort of, she downshifts in essence. She changes down the gears, and she then can prepare for winter. So she'll either start laying like a trooper just to get the winter bees out, or that might be just her downshifting. She might just make a small brood nest from then on. So what I'm doing is I'm just trying to knock out all these bees. I know for a fact the queen's not in here because I've just seen her in there. So I'm going to just break these apart, and we'll put it with the rest over here. Right, where's my pen? So. Oh. Okay, let's deal with it. Watch out, girls. So another thing you can do is try and get the bees out, put a feeder on, and then then just keep that there. And then when it comes to spring, when you can take the feeder off, and then they've got a bit of food. But I don't like to do that, I'm afraid. So I'm just going to shake these off. Pile. Remember, you want to keep as close to the roof as possible, and just wiggle it and kind of just walk it down. You don't want to go slicing in really, because you could cause damage to some bees. So I'm just going to put that there. My hands are again covered in honey. Just clean them. Some of them you can just snap off like I did with that one. As you can see, it's quite hard. And it's a small bit as well, so it's not going to break. Generally, if you get comb like this, where it's like golden in colour, like this, where it's golden in colour, that's a lot softer. That's more likely to break and bend. When it's hard like that, that's more likely to just come away and snap like that, so it's a lot easier to get off. So I'm just going to tell you what, I'm going to give it another tap, see if we can get some more bees out. Now clear some space. There we go, clear some space now. Break some of this off. Come on, out you come. So when it's big like this, a big piece, it's sometimes easier to break it into a smaller bit. But because this has got a hard bit on it, it makes a good handle. Stick that there. Right. Whew. It's a shame I've already melted down all my wax, because this brace gum coming. Right. Again, another tap, just to try and get rid of the bees that are up here. Now when you shake or tap like that, you can get a lot more angry bees in the air, so just beware when you're doing this. Some combs already come play. That's good. Right. Could be away. There's a leaf in there. There we go. Brush, brush. Brush, brush. Knock them in. Oh, that one's really tough. There we go. It's got the bees on it. And then this has come off. So shake this. Shake, shake, shake. Shake, shake, shake. Shake those bees. Right, so we still have a bit here. So I'm just going to try and get off as best I can. Okay, so. That was a lot of honey I've just taken off. Shame I can't use it, so I'm going to go get a feeder. So let's smoke these guys down. Put this out of the way. And just wiggle it. Hopefully it'll move out of the way. There we are. Right. Do a Hulk Hogan impression. Out of the way. Tell you what, if I just rip that bit off. There we are. Place there. The bees are trying to sting this fabric. How very dare. Already that fruit's making its way through, that's good. Right, that'll do. Lid on. Sorted. So, yeah. Oh, the bees will, from the April, will now take the honey out of this comb and then clean it up for me, so that's good. Put this over here. Right, we'll check the other one now. So I'm going to keep an eye out for any colony that's looking small, just because I do have a colony over there that I need to shake out because of the drone laying queen. Have a quick look. First of all, let's see how it hefts. Can't do 1, 2, 3. So it could do with a little bit more food, but not a lot. We'll see how the top box looks. I might be okay with them just having 2. So yeah, these guys are quite full. They seem healthy. Yeah, it's a good nuke. I'm happy with that. Right, so I'm just going to feed them a little bit. I'm not going to feed them a lot. Probably just 1 pocket, one of these. That should do them, really. This is what I do in October, so I check for food, check for queen rightness and healthy queens, and then I make sure I feed them if they need it. A lot of it is just trying to gauge, really. You can't particularly overfeed a colony. Like, the worst that can happen really is you'll have food left over. But other than that, it's not too bad. Right. One thing is that you get really proficient with ripping fabric when you do this. You can put this in here so they've got somewhere to sit. They don't particularly like me for opening up here, but they'll thank me when they're not drowning. Ah, get off. Come on. There we go. So make sure you just sit it in. It'll sink on its own with the weight of the bees. Yeah, that's that done. Right, next one. Whew. So with these two, I need to take the Formic Pro out. At this point, I still haven't released or managed to upload the last week's inspections, so I'm sorry about that. It has been edited, but for some reason YouTube is refusing to accept it. I'm not sure why, but it's just the way things are going. So last week I found that the Formic Pro had killed the queen in this colony. I found a load of queen cells, and I removed them all apart from one. So it's now been 2 weeks since then, so it's the 22nd of the 9th. So today is the 5th of October. So it's been 2 weeks now since then, so we'll have a look, see what's going on. So the colony is nice and strong, it's good. So I don't know if this is going to survive this colony. I need the queen to go out and get mated successfully. And the weather has just been absolutely atrocious the past 2 weeks. So we'll have to see. And it's a shame because this queen, or rather this colony, has done quite a lot of good for me this year. So yeah, I think it was this one. This has got the green dot on right there. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to smoke them very gently. Just the queen should have emerged by now. I'm just going to smoke them very gently. Just get them out of the way. I'm going to have to take the box off in a minute and take the Formic Pro off. But may as well just have a look while I'm up here, because this is where the queen cell was. Because what we want to see is that the queen cell is either gone or it's there and the bottom is open. Because that means that the queen has emerged. If the queen's emerged, it means there's a virgin queen in here, and it means it's got a chance. If there's no queen cell, or it looks like it's just been torn down, or it's even if it's still the same and it's not been touched, so nothing's been moved, it could mean that the queen died. And if that's the case, then this colony is doomed. So this is a heavy frame of food. So these colonies probably won't need any feed. I'll heft them in a minute once I finish doing this. So this isn't the one yet. Yeah. Oh, I'm not expecting there to be any eggs if the queen's only emerged like 2 weeks ago. I was just checking just in case. Sometimes they can go out and get mated super fast. And August and September are surprisingly some of the best months to get the queens mated, just because there's so many drones about. So let's have a look. So the queen cell has started to be torn down. So that means that the queen has either been released, or they've started to just take it down because she's clearly dead. So I'm going to have a quick look inside and see if there's any raw jelly or anything still in there, or remnants of a queen. No, nothing. Okay, so that's okay. So I'm going to hold out hope that there's a virgin queen running about in here, and that it can get mated in time. They're going to be scuppered if it gets to mid-October before the queen emerges. Well, before the queen gets out and gets mated. Days like today are cold, but the showers seem to have stopped now, or to my knowledge they have anyway. I'm not feeling it, but I'm under the tree canopy right now. So right, I'm going to close these up and just hope, among hope, that there's a queen in here. The bees seem calm. So a way of telling whether they're queenless is that you get them running about like blue ass flies, and they don't know what to do themselves because they have no queen, they have no purpose, and everything's fine. But when you see them and they're sort of just looking upwards at you, and they're not really flying out too much at you, then generally that's an indicator that there's a queen in there. It's not all the time. Sometimes the bees can be very calm about the end of the colony. But other than that, these guys seem quite calm. So I'm hoping that there's a virgin queen in there and she's going out getting mated. I'll check in another 2 weeks. But let's heft it and see what it's like. So 1 finger, no chance. 2 finger, just. 3 finger, okay. 4 finger, yeah. So these guys do need feeding. They need a bit of food. So I'm going to give them a bit of food. There we go. Right there. Lid off. Remember, put a sock or something in. Give the bee something to stand on. One of the reasons I use socks is that they make a perfect circle, so it's a bit easier for you to put it in. And you want to get that as close to the water or to the food as possible, just because if you have it too high up, then sometimes the wicking doesn't work and the bees can't get to the food. So if you can spread it out a little bit underneath like that, that works well as well. Okay, so that's all situated. Need to pour food in. There you go. Right, so that should be enough. It's virtually half a canister. So if they take all of that down, then I'd probably say that they're ready for winter. So just dip it in there. There we go. Right, close them up, and hopefully that virgin queen will go out and get mated, and we'll have a good healthy colony going into winter. It's a good size. Oh, the queen beforehand did a really good job of getting a big strong colony. It's just a shame that the Formic Pro killed her off. Let's put you in here, out of the way. Right. Whew. Okay. Now this colony we found was laying well. The Formic Pro hadn't killed her off, so that's positive. We're just going to check her weight really and take. Oh, okay. We didn't take the Formic Pro off that colony. Well, we're going to have to be careful now because I've got a feeder on there. So what I have to do is put that there, like that. I have to lift all of it off, including the feeder, and take the Formic Pro off very carefully. These are rock hard now. All of the formic acid is gone, and they've already started to rip away at the stuff there. I have to be very careful. Place it back on. There we go. There we are. Right, that's that done. Whew. Oops. That works out better than I thought it would. Right, okay. So, this one. So when you do shakeouts, by the way, you want to make sure that you're shaking into a healthy colony. So a colony that's got a mated queen, or a well-mated queen, rather. If you shake into a queenless colony with a queen that's a drone-laying queen, she'll take over that colony and it'll become a drone-laying colony again. So I thought I'd put that out there first of all, just to make sure you guys know. So I'm going to quickly heft this hive. So I've got 1 finger, no chance. 2 fingers, oh, ish. 3 fingers, 4 fingers. I can just do it with 4 fingers. I'm happy with 4 fingers. I'll just give them some fondant close to the time of December. Right, wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. I saw eggs last week, so the queen's definitely in here. Whoa, this colony is really strong. So that's good. That's what you want. A strong colony going into winter. Yes. Come out the way. Let's tap these out. Out of the way. Out of the way. Oh. Brush away. I really like Formic Pro. I know it caused the death of one of my colonies, but I think it's really fast and effective. Right. These guys are pretty much sorted now, so close these up. And then I'll give them some fondant close to December. So these guys are pretty sorted now, so I can close these up. And I'll just what you do over winter is every 2 to 3 weeks you come through and just heft them. And if they start hefting light again, then that's when you need to give them a bit more food, like fondant. But these guys are hefting fine. These 2 colonies are beasts. I don't think I even need to bother hefting them, but I'm going to try. 4 fingers. No, genuinely feels glued down. 4 fingers. Just no chance with 3 fingers. So these 2 colonies do not need feeding whatsoever. What they do need though is for the Formic Pro to be taken off. So that's what I'm going to do right now. They haven't clustered up here too well, so it's not filling all 3 of these boxes, but it's 3 brood boxes, and it's nearing winter, so I wouldn't expect them to be. But they will use all that space. What it means though is when it comes to winter, I can start taking boxes from the bottom off. But yes, these guys are doing great. Right, take the Formic Pro off. I think it was last week. Oh, again, you guys haven't seen it yet. Hopefully I'll get that to be uploaded before I upload this one. Last week you would have seen that I took out a load of brace comb down the slot. The bees have already started creating that brace comb again, so that's annoying. Right. Yeah, these guys do not need any more food though. They are full. I'll smoke them away. I'll put the boxes back up, and then these guys are done for winter. I don't think I'll even need to feed them fondant. I'll keep hefting them, but I don't think I'll need them to have any fondant. Right. Keep flying in between my fingers when I'm trying to pick up a box, and it's very disconcerting. What? That's that box done. What I might do is, because these aren't filling their box, I might gift these the drone laying queen colony that I found before. Just because then they'll have more bees to fill the cavity, make them stronger through winter. So I think I'll probably do that in a minute. Should I do that now? I'll do that when I finished. Let's take the Formic Pro out of these guys. Take it on. Hey. Right. And these guys aren't really filling the cavity either. They're on these frames here, but we'll see what they'll look like as we go down. What I might do is just throw the bees out in front of both colonies and see where they go. Whoa. Whoa. Right, there we go. Quick, it's back on. We'll see how we're doing. Oops. Right, I'm going to go shake those bees out in front of this one. Right, it's been 2 weeks since I was last here. I put Formic Pro treatment on these guys and kind of left them to it. I've only had one queen death at the other apiary, and that's because she was an old queen. All the queens here are relatively fresh and new. So I'm going to just do a quick check of eggs, see if there are any eggs. If there's not, again, they might be on the brood break, so I'm not too worried. What I'll be looking for, though, is queen cells or something along those lines. Or like evidence that there were queen cells. So I'm going to just leave you guys there, just because moving around here, this apiary definitely is not set up for it. But I'll call out what I find. If I see anything interesting, I'll bring it to you. So hope you're okay with that. Okay, so seems to be some activity out of all of them, so that's good. What I'll do first of all is take the Formic Pro out, and then I'll just have a look through a few frames, and hopefully we'll see some eggs. I'll undo all these first. As I said, if I see anything interesting, I'll walk over to you guys and show you. I'm hoping for this one to be quite quick. So it's a good sign is that there's quite a lot of bees here. So it's not as full as I'd like it to be. There's a couple of seams that don't have any bees in, and they're quite loosely packed here. The bees are walking around, and they aren't doing, as I mentioned before, where they all face up looking up at you when you open up and looking into the frames. They're all milling about, so that's sending off a few warning bells, but obviously I've only just opened up. I'll have a proper look in a second. So we're going to break up these. Oh, this propolis. Okay, lift this off. And I think one of the packets is stuck onto the bottom of there. So take this packet off. Watch out, girls. I'm trying not to use that much smoke because I don't want to break the cluster too much. But this is rock solid, so that's good. Right, so I don't want to go too much into it. I want to just see if there's any eggs and move on. If there's eggs, I'm moving on. If there's queen cells, then we're in issues. I don't know if I want to crack then. Okay, so we're going to try and lift this. Now, everything's propolised down now. So I don't know if you can tell from that distance, but everything has like a reddish hue because all of these frames are propolized onto the box. So the bees have gone into winter mode, and if you like to harvest propolis, now is the time to do it. Put something over the top of it, like a mesh, I think you can get, and let the bee air flow over the top of it, and the bees will fill the gaps in that mesh up. They can fold it up at a later date when it's full, freeze it, and then wriggle it, and it should all break off. But this propolis holds everything down. So what we're looking for is eggs. I'm not really fussed about brood per se, because I know it was well mated beforehand. I'm just going to have a few frames here and move onwards to the top box. I don't want to cause too much of an issue. So the temperature has risen up to 15 degrees from the 10 degrees it was this morning, so that's good. But it is still quite windy. So this is definitely a brood frame. I'm going to have a quick look and see what's in. Do you see any eggs? And how the bees are getting in the way. So there's an egg there. There's only one, but there is an egg. I'll keep looking because what could have happened is the queen could be in the top box, huddling. Because it's warmer there. Look in the other frame. Now that egg was directly up, so it's fresh. It's a fresh egg. So I'll have a look in this side. Because it could be that the queen has only just moved onto this frame and I've disturbed her. So I can't see any more eggs here. Again, it could just be that she's on a brood break. I'm not too worried yet. It's if I see any signs of queen cells that I need to worry about. Okay, so I'm going to place that back down. And then we'll have a look at this third one. And then we'll leave it at that on this box, because I don't want to cause too much issue. Because if the queen is running about, and she's running about there, I don't want to increase the chance of me squishing her or doing any damage to her. So, just going to put it below. Again, I don't want to drive her down. I don't really want to disturb the bees at all at this time of year, but I do need to check. So we've got some larvae, got some worker brood here, worker cells, capped, you can see. We've got some larvae here, so that's good, it's a good sign. And I'm just going to blow the bees out the way, see if I can see any eggs. I think I can. Bees are getting in the way. Yes, so I can see some eggs. So that to me says that the queen's in here. She's slowed down her laying completely, but she's still in here. So I'm going to close them up. I'm going to heft them and see what weight they are, and if they need more food, then I'll give them some more food. So that's why you want to be slow. If you're making fast movements, and the bees will hop to you. That was stupid on my part. It's fine. No stings, no harm done, just bees investigating what the fast moving object was. If you took your entrances out for the Formic Pro, now's the time to put them back in. You want to try and reduce the entrance as much as possible. To be honest, I think it's gone past wasp season. I may be wrong for certain areas. But because it's gone past wasp season, what I'd suggest is putting the mouse guard on. So with these Abello ones, quite good, because it comes with one that you can use to shut it off. So doing that, you close the entrance off, turn it the other way around, and you've got a mouse block. So it means that the mouse can't get through those holes. It's just too small for the mouse to fit through. So that's good. So I'm going to attach that now. And then, jobbies. There we go. Just be careful doing it. You don't want to squish anyone. Right, and then I'm going to put this back. And then we'll get that Formic Pro from the bottom of that box there. Now that box is quite heavy, so I am not expecting to feed this currently. Do you mind, please? I'm trying to fix your hive. So when it's full like this, you want to be as gentle as possible. So all you do is just gently, so there's no friction there whatsoever. Just place it in the right place, and it should go on its own. If it doesn't because of the propolis, just use your thumbs and just gently push, nice and slowly. You don't want to squish any bees, okay? Because these are going to be some winter bees that are going to be keeping the hive going through the winter. So it's gentle, gentle, give them enough time to move out of the way, and there you go, it's down. So I'm going to try and get the Formic Pro from underneath here now. So look, where are you? There you are. Right, let's put this on. 1, 2, 3. Wow. So this is quite heavy, this box. It is heavy to one side anyway. This side mostly. So I'm just going to do a quick heft. So as you can see, the entrance is kind of getting, well, you may not be able to see from there. The entrance is kind of getting busy. I've disturbed them, so the alarm pheromone has gone up, so all the bees are running around like they're being attacked. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do a quick heft. So I'm going to do 1 finger, no chance, 2 finger, no, 3 finger, no, 4 finger, no. So I can do it if I put my whole weight into it, but just with my fingers, no chance. So that feels like it's glued down, so that's ready for winter. I can close this up. These guys are fine. What I'll do is, again, when it comes to November, December, I'll heft them again, but as far as I'm concerned, don't need to go into these guys again. Done. Next. Go on to these ones. I'll pick them up in a bit. Quite a lot of bees at the cluster there, but you don't know until you've taken the top board off. Oop. They detach one of the frames. So this honey super feels quite light or empty from the looks of it. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 frames. The rest seem to be quite empty. And I saw a lot of water dripping off this then. So that means that there's a lot of humidity in here. That isn't great. Humidity kills bees, not cold. So when it comes to this, that sort of points to me that maybe there's not enough bees in this cavity to keep it warm and keep it dry. The inner frames, so the inside, seem to be quite dry, so they seem to be okay, but the outside especially. And you do get this with the bellows, just because of the polystyrene, for some reason, it attracts the water. Whereas with wood, it soaks the water up and creates a tight seal. It's plastic and polystyrene, so it just doesn't make that seal very well. Sometimes you can put, I tried Vaseline one year because I was recommended that. That didn't really work. I tried putting tape around the seams. Again, that did work actually. That did work okay, but it was a pig to get off when it came to spring. So I'll just leave it for now. But it is something to be aware of if you're using polystyrene on polystyrene. Oh, looks like something's had an attack of me. Oh, right. So that super feels very light, so these guys might need some feeding. But still looks like a relatively strong colony. The bottom box is quite full. Right, so what I want to do is I want to check to see if there's any eggs in here. That's all I need to find out. As with the other one, if there's queen cells, then I've got some issues, but we'll see. Right, so I'm going to lift this up. I'm going for a centre frame just because it's more than likely going to have eggs in compared to the outer frames. That's where they store food, the outer frames. So with this one, all the bees are looking up at me like that. What are you doing? So that is a good sign. That means that it's more than likely going to be queen right. But it is just an observation. It doesn't mean that I'm correct. So I'm going to have a quick look. And this is full of eggs. Loads of eggs and larvae. Yeah, so this is fine. This queen's doing well. I can close these guys up. Get off. Yeah, I can close these guys up. Okay, so I'm just going to drop that back. That's all. That's all I needed to do. And as I said before, just get it so there's no friction and just release it. And hopefully it should drop on its own. But if not, just help it on its way just with a little push. You don't want to cause any issues for the bees. You want to give them lots of time to get away. Yeah. I'm going to stick a box on top. And then we'll heft them. And more than likely going to need to feed them. But we'll see. Okay, so just make sure I can lift it. Yeah. So 1 finger, no, 2 fingers. Yes, that is a 2 finger, 3 fingers easy. Right, so I like my hives to be glued down, or feel like they are anyway, so this definitely needs some food. Put this on. I'll go get a feeder. Oh, so this is called a rapid feeder. I don't know if I've told you this before, but I may as well go through it again. It's called a rapid feeder because it's, well, it's just its name really. It's good because it's got a central point here. So it means no matter which way the hive is leaning, there's always a good point where the bees can get the food, especially when it's full. Because it's circular, it's really efficient for the bees to come up and get the food. But yeah, I really like these feeders. They're really good. The only issue I have with them is that sometimes you can get drowning occurring. But that is why I'm ripping up this piece of tissue and tucking it under. So there you are. That should give them enough grip and enough leeway where they can soak up whatever food I put in there. So again, on the invert bait, each one of these is about 15 kilograms. It's 12.7 litres, but yeah, 15 kilograms. So I'm just going to top it up. I like my hives to be immovable. So I'm going to put as much as I can in. So if you can see here, I don't know if you can. Sorry. I don't know if you can. It's leaning to this way. So there's less here than here. I don't know if you can from there. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to see if I can find something just to push this up and even it out just a little bit. It doesn't have to be anything proper. Just like a stick or twig or something like that. Or even some folded grass, which I might go for now. There you are. Just going to fold some grass, nice and easy, and just jam it under there. Just make it a bit more level. Again, you don't have to do this. The bees are pretty good at getting in there with the tongues, but it just helps them out a little bit, evens things out a little bit more. Right, close that up. Well, let's dribble this, let them know it's food up here. Oops. Right, move that down. Right, and that hive's pretty much sorted now. They'll feed themselves, and in a week or two I'll come back and hopefully all that food will be gone and these guys will be ready and raring to go for winter. Right, on to this next one. Inspections get a lot quicker when it gets to winter because the swarm impulse has started to die down, so I'm going to put the entrance block on this one. Because the swarm impulse is gone. You don't have to inspect them every week, really. In fact, it's probably best if you don't. What you want to do is just keep them topped up with food, keep them going, keep them strong, so when they come into winter, they're ready and raring. Again, this colony seems to be okay from looks of it, from first look. I'm going to put the block in now so I don't forget. Oh, right. Okay, so they're not filling this box at all, really. They're only half, like around this level here, just keeping to the cluster down here. That doesn't mean that they won't come up. It just means that they're just not enough bees to fill the whole box. That's okay. I'm not too worried about that. I'm going to break this seal and go in because I need to take the Formic Pro off anyway. Ooh. There's the Formic Pro. So there is a bit of weight to that. So there is some food in that box. Yeah. Okay. Stop trying to sting me finger, you. Cool. Right. Remember, we're just looking for eggs, so don't worry about it too much. If you don't see anything, as long as you don't see queen cells, that's the most important thing, really. Or signs of queen cells. So just do that, do that, do that. The inside frames are the ones that are going to have the eggs on, if any. So I'm just going to have a quick look. There's larvae, there's a cat brood, and oh yeah, I can see easily there's eggs. So this queen is fine. She's happy as Larry. She's laying. The brood pattern isn't great, but she has just been dosed with formic acid, so she's probably just coming around from that. These guys actually have a lot of nectar in here. So I wonder if there's some late blooming plant somewhere nearby. But that is great. I don't need to have these guys open any more than that. I am still going to feed them if they are light, and to my guess, they will be light. So I'm just going to push this across. Excuse me. This is good. Okay, those along. Ooh. Now they're not too happy about me opening them up, so ooh. I'll close them up pretty fast. So I'm going to fill them up with some food, I think. Let's see how they heft. Ready? One finger. No, 2 fingers. Yes. 3 fingers. Yeah, so these guys definitely need some food. So I'm going to go get another feeder now. Right. Move you out of the way. Don't need you. Right, so look down, make sure you can see bees when you look through the small gap there, and then get some fabric. So I'd have a look, try and work out about 2 centimeters, and then yank. It gets to the end, just Hulk Hogan it. Okay, so let's do a very loose circle around there, and then just sort of push it down, like so. You want it as close to the liquid as possible, just so it wicks it properly. Okay. Ooh, this is going to be an easy one, I think. Pour this in. Now this might be like the other one and need to be adjusted just to make it a bit more level, but we'll see. Right, so that's a pretty solid amount. That's probably about 5 kilograms worth of food. It's good. It definitely is leaning to this corner over here, so I'm going to do the same again. I'm just going to grab some grass. Ugh. I'm just going to fold it. I'll be alright. I'll fold it over here. And it's all coming to this corner over here, so I'm going to put it more to this side. Nice and easy. Just stuff it underneath. Like so. And then because it's grass, you can push it down and flatten it a little bit more. There you are. It's pretty level, that. It's pretty good. Right, close that up. Are you closing properly? There we go. Right, that's that. Oh, I didn't dribble some for the bees, so I'm just going to dribble a bit for the bees. Dribbly, 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 dribbly. And then push it down again. Close it again. And that one's done. Done. Right, so we're going to have a look at these two. So that might be a bit awkward for you, so I think I might bring you a bit closer. So we have 2 hives at the back. This one shouldn't need feeding because if I remember rightly, it has a brood box and a super full of food. Oh. That was with my shoulder. Food-wise, these guys are fine. They need the Formic Pro taken off though, so we'll do that first. Oh. Right. Put their entrance block on. Remember what I said? It's got a mouse guard there. Look it on. Means that the mouse can't get in. But these can get out. Crack this. So. Forgot here. So the bees are in this box, not filling it completely. We have got mould along the edges here. See that or not? Don't know if you can see that. So we have got mould growing on the wood here. So that means that this is getting very humid. So there's not enough bees in this box to fill the cavity. That can cause a problem, but they do have a lot of food up here, so I don't really want to lose this box. Ooh. And as we go down, you can see that the colony is quite big. So that is a large cluster. Yeah, I don't think we can actually shake them out and make this any smaller, just because they are using the box to a pretty full extent, really. It's only the top one that they're not. I think they'll be fine, but yeah. We'll have a look for eggs in a second. Right now, we need to take the Formic Pro off though, so take this off, and take this off. Now this is quite a strong colony, really. I think this was a swarm, if I remember rightly, from this year, so they've done quite well to get to this stage. Swarms sometimes flounder quite easily. This pad is really hot. If only you had like field vision or something. This pad is really hot because it was over the brood area. So that's pretty cool. So this must be where the brood is here, because that's where all the heat's coming from. So I'm just going to have a quick break. Now the good news is that there's some drones. So there's still drones about in this hive. That bodes well for the 2 queens over in the mating apiary that need to get mated. Hopefully the drones will still be about, but we'll find out. Right, so I'm going to crack into the middle, and if you don't find eggs, I'll work my way that way. So the bees aren't stinging me, but they are investigating me, so that's annoying. Smoker, there it is. Ooh. I often get asked, what's it like to get stung? It feels like you're being pinched. It's the best way to describe it. Ooh. So, pinches you used to get from your sisters or brothers when you were a kid. Feels like that. So if there's no eggs in here, we'll have a look in the other brood box, because that's quite full as well. Honestly, I can't see. It's so glum and dark at the moment. It sucks. No, so I can't see any eggs. Okay. It's fine, we'll keep looking. So it looks like this box at the bottom isn't actually being used for anything properly. I think it's just used for storing bees. So what I could do is take this box off and shake the bees into the other boxes. I'll have a think about that. So the bees are all over my hands here. They're not happy with me. Coming in. Still no eggs. So my thoughts are that the queen has gone to the middle box. Okay. Right, so I'm going to do as I said before, just slowly lower it in. Wiggle it if you need to, if there's a bit of difficulty, but just let it fall on its own and you just help it on its way. Do not push too hard at all, okay? You need to give the bees lots of space and room to move. So, clear this ledge here. I'll put these back on. So, because the bees are all coming out, an alert has been sounded, so all the bees are coming out. So I need to knock them down a bit, just so I can put the box back on. This is breaking the cluster a bit, but it won't take long for them to rebuild it again. I'd rather break the cluster than squish bees. There we go. Right, let's have a look. So the bees are kind of clustered there. I'm going to expect that that's where the brood is. So a bit more central. I'll work my way in. Oh. So there's lots of brood here, as in capped brood there, as you can see. That bodes well. I just need to see if I can find any eggs. Need larvae and eggs, if we can. These bees. So found that. Means that we're in the brood area, so I'm going to keep exploring this area if I can. The bees won't like it because the whole mission at the moment is to protect the larvae. So as you can see, they're getting a bit uppity. I want to blow them down again, smoke them down. They're not hurting me. They're just investigating me because they don't want their larvae, their precious larvae, to be hurt. So we can have another look. And there's the queen. I found the queen. She's walking around right there. The green dot on her back is warped off. But I'm not going to mess with her. I don't want to mess with her. She's shrunk down, so she's obviously stopped laying as much. But I've seen the queen now, so she's still alive and still about. I'm just going to be very careful where she is, because I don't want to squish her. She's on this side here, so I'm just going to lower that down there. And then what I'm going to do is actually remove this frame here. Just move over here. So the queen is on this side here, so I don't want to squish her. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lower this down away from her, and then slowly slide it up as best I can. Try and save her from being squished. But there is a small bee that is refusing to move. Budge, go out of the way. Okay, there we are. So now the queen is in that seam there. I'm going to push this down. So that's good. I'm glad that I saw the queen there. So as you saw then, I just let go, let it just slowly lower itself down. It's got to a bit where the lugs are a bit swollen from the moisture. There we go. Right, blow these down, put the other box on, and then we're going to leave them to it because it hefted so well. Ooh. Just do another check, just make sure. Just on 4. So what I'll do is when it gets to November, I'll possibly give them some fondant, but yeah, there's no point in giving them fondant now unless that's what you're going to feed them on the whole winter. As long as the store's in there, make sure that they use those stores first, because what you don't want to do is come over to spring and have a whole super full of invert B, because it means that you can't use that super for the rest of the year. You want to make sure that they use all of the food up, and then you can then start supplementing them with some more food afterwards. So, right, we'll go into this one, which you guys cannot see. So, let's see if we can find another spot for you. Right, last one. Entrance block in. Okay, so there doesn't seem to be a lot of bees there. It could just be that they're all in the bottom box, but we'll see. I won't heft them now, I'll heft them in a minute once I'm close to them again. Right, so they're using most of this box, but there's a few seams here that they're not using, so it's annoying, but if they need feeding and I feed them, then hopefully they can draw out. That comb, it seems like the Formic Pro strips are stuck to the bottom, so I'm just going to take them off now. Okay, move this across. Wow. That feels like it's got a lot of food in, so that's good. I do think that these will probably need feeding. So I don't know if you can see better now. Can you see that better? So this kind of makes it a bit more evident of where the cluster is. So as you can see, these frames here are very dark and they're very wet. You can see the moisture there and along these lugs here. So that means that the heat radiated from this cluster is just reaching this frame here because it's slightly lighter than this one. It doesn't look like they're reaching this frame at all. And this is what they do in winter. They cluster like this into a ball, and you can kind of see where the ball is. You can even see that it's actually dry here compared to here because the heat that they're generating is pushing the moisture out from this bit here. So they've made a cluster here, and they've made it higher as well. So the cluster is about the same place in the super that goes above. These guys, I think, are pretty prepped for winter. They've got into that mind state. So what I need to do now is look and see if they've got any eggs, or see if I can see the queen, or make sure that there's no queen cells. So I'm going to go a bit inboard again. Just because I don't really want to be disturbing them any more than I need to. But what I do need to do is make sure that they are queen right. Because if not, then they need to be combined or shaken out ASAP. Ugh. Oh my god. Nice. Stiff. Right, okay. So I'm just going to have a quick look. So these guys have found some nectar sauce as well. So we're seeing eggs. Not seeing any eggs. So the one problem that I found with Formic Pro, well, actually I've found a few problems, but one of the problems that I found with Formic Pro is that the larvae all die, which sucks. But usually it's fine. Usually the queen can create that larvae back pretty fast. Only it takes a few days for it to get that back. But I found that at this late stage of the year, I find that the queen finds it more difficult to get back into that laying pattern again and lay up all those frames of winter bees. So maybe I need to do the Formic Pro a bit earlier than I did last time or this year. I'm not sure. But it's all learning experience. You never know whether you work well with a treatment until you give it a go. And the queen's here. So there's the queen right there. She's got a green dot on her, walking about. So she's still alive. I don't need to go any further. Job done. And she's on this side as well, which makes things a bit easier. So what I can do now is I can push. I don't know if you can see her. Can you see that? Thought I'd just give it another go. I don't know which angle you're at. There she is with the green dot. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to push this in gently to make sure that no one gets squished. And I'm going to close them up. What I will do is I'll give them a quick heft and see if they need any assistance food-wise. It kind of feels like they do, but we won't know until we heft. So I'll put this lid on, and I'll just have a quick heft. So one finger. Oh, yeah, these guys definitely need some assistance. I'm lifting that with just 2 fingers, so these guys definitely need some food. So I'll just go get the feeder and probably unload that on it. Where's me cloth? Right. Remember what I said? Well, first of all, the way to rip it is never rip on a seam. Seams are pretty tough. They're reinforced with more sewing, so ignore that. Find a bit where you've actually cut into it, like here, or where it's a bit frayed. The frayed edge is a lot easier to rip. So about 2 centimeters or a thumb. Start it, and then just go Hulk Hogan. There you go. Sorted. And just wrap it around very gently. That. Hold it in place by pushing the cup on it. Try and squish it down if you can. Put the cup on top like that. And then pour the goodness in. There you go. So that'll be enough to get him through, I think. These guys need more food than the others, so yeah, I'm just going to do a little dribble, make sure they know the food's here, around the edge, and then scoot that up, so in and push that down. There we are. What'll happen is, as the fabric soaks it up, it'll start filling up in here, and the bees will have somewhere to stand because of the fabric, and they'll be able to get it to it, drink it all up. The fabric's wicking, so it's all hunky-dory. So, right. And the benefit of this bench seems that it's all very level, so that's good. What I want to do with this? Might hide it in this one. Oop, there we go. Right, so this should now all be pretty sorted in the next couple of weeks. Cool. Right, so I've not actually been to this apiary for 3 weeks now. I was meant to come a couple of weeks ago to move these guys, because they're all at a stage now where I can pick them up. Now, that didn't bode well, did it? This seems to have lost its strength in that time. So yeah, so what I'm doing here now is I'm just going seeing if they need food or not. I don't want to put liquid food on them, just in case I do move them. So I've brought some fondant, which is fondant. It's actually baker's fondant, but yeah, they seem to be doing okay. Just going to lift the top off, have a quick look. It's a decent cluster. Now, if I remember rightly, I think these guys were queenless, but they seem to be doing all right at the moment, so that's interesting. Anyway, they seem to be doing okay, but they are hefting very light, so I'm just going to give them a bit of food. So the way you give fondant is super easy. Stab it in the middle, drag it down, oop, like that, and then you do it again, do a little cross, stab it, like that. It's not a particularly sharp knife, this, and just make an X. So after that, just peel. Smoke was dying and now it's come back to life to kill me. Right, and then all you do is, once you've got the X, you just peel You don't need to peel all the corners, just peel 2. So part like that, and just pop it over the bees. It's better to have direct contact with the bees. So if you can put like a queen excluder down and put that on top, and then put like, I don't know, another box on top and or like an eek, and then put a roof on, that's best to do. But this is good enough. Put it on top of the crown board, the bees can still get to it. So that means that they've got a fair amount of food now. If it pees it down, I don't have to worry about them at all. They won't have enough food doing it this way. Like, that won't last them through winter. And you can put bees through winter purely on fondant without giving them lots of sugar and stuff like that. And I know a lot of beekeepers and bee farmers do it. They get 12.5 kilogram blocks of fondant, straight on top, or over the top of a queen excluder, and then they just lock them up, and that's them done for the year. They don't need to feed them up or anything like that, because that 12.5 kilograms of fondant will put the bees all the way through winter. It's a way of doing that. If it works for you, it works for you. I like to make sure that they've got liquid feed. I think bees cluster together a bit easier and a bit better when they've got liquid feed, but it works. Give it a go one day, see what happens, see if you like it or not. Stops all the faff, and you know where they are at just from a glance, food wise. If it's all gone, then you need to put more fondant on. If there's still some there, you don't need to worry about putting more on. It works out. It's a cool idea. I might give it a go one year, but I've got a lot of Fonda bee and I've got a lot of inverter bee that I can use, so I want to use that up before I buy anything else. But yeah, this is done now. I'm going to tighten it up, move on to the next ones. I'm not doing any inspections on these whatsoever. I'm going to do inspections when I move them. Hopefully it's going to be this week, because the rose garden is pretty much finished from the looks of it, and I think that they want to come in here soon. So hopefully they can do that. What? Are you kidding me? So this is the only one that I haven't tied up separate from the base, so from the stand. So yeah, let's do that now so I don't forget, because that could be embarrassing when it's stupid o'clock at night. Right, so that's got some food in. I've separated it from the base, so now I can pick it up if I want to. It's quite light actually, so that's a bit worrying. But it's full of bees. It's got some fondant on top now, so that should be okay for a few weeks. Yeah, just gonna leave them to it. On to the next one. Again, I'm not too worried about doing any inspections. I'm going to open up, make sure there's bees walking about, which there are none. I can see the queen there. Why has this happened? Wow. This colony has died, sadly. So this is one of the reasons why I was bringing food to these guys, because they needed some feed, and this colony has died of starvation. I'm hoping that the others around me haven't. But yeah, that's really bummed me out. So this is one of those things that can be avoided if you are a bit more conscientious, a bit more on top of your game. I thought these guys had enough food to last them. It's been raining non-stop for pretty much 2-3 weeks, and I thought these guys had enough food to get through that, just so I could feed them now. And it just appears that this colony hasn't managed to survive. That's a massive shame. This was the last imported queen. Yeah, so this is the last imported queen at this site. I just looked at her then. She's on death's door. All of the bees are so... There's no way this colony can survive through winter whatsoever. I could give her some fresh bees, I could give her some comb, could give her all sorts, but this colony is dead. There's maybe like 10, 12 alive, and the queen barely alive. If I made a new cup now from another colony, that'd stop that colony from surviving through winter. So, unfortunately, I'm just going to have to close this up and call it a dead hive. That's really upset me. It's really, really upset me. So that's a dead hive. Crap. Right, I really need to check all these other hives now and make sure that they're okay. I don't want any more dead outs like that. I can see that there's a lot of activity from some hives, not so much from others. This might be another dead out, but the others seem to be okay from the looks of it. I've got bees going in and out, so we'll see. Yeah, this is definitely a dead hive. That sucks. When you're dealing with dead outs, you've got to do a few things. So the first thing is to block off the entrance. If there is any food in there, or any sort of larvae or anything like that still going, which there isn't in this case, but if there is, it means that you can get bees robbing it. Because if there's a dead out and it's middle of winter, most of the time you don't know what's killed your bees. You have to do an investigation. So I know for a fact this is because this colony has no food. I'm lifting that with 2 fingers. There's no food in this colony whatsoever. They have starved to death. So what you need to do is you need to get rid of the bees, because what happens is the bees will die and they will start to rot. You don't need to get rid of all of the bees, just shake them out. I have a little graveyard over there, so I'm just going to shake the bees and hopefully come up there. As you can see, this was the cluster that was left. They ate all the food in the bottom and started making their way to the top, and slowly but surely they all just started dying of starvation. This is horrible. I hate this. And that was the colony. So if it wasn't for starvation, this colony would have probably made it through winter. There's a huge amount of bees here, and there's a huge amount of bees that were just in that brood box that I've just shaken out. So this just shows you why, with the terrible weather that we're having at the moment, this is why it's important to feed them. I was feeding them one-to-one solution every week, but I guess the colony that was this size was just burning through that food too fast. I left these guys for a week without feeding them because of the weather, and yeah, look at what's happened. It's heartbreaking. Bees are pets. I know they are livestock to some people, but bees are pets, and they mean a lot to me. So to find a hive that's died like that is, and it's my fault as well. This is my fault. It's mortifying. So I'm sorry about that. So once you've cleared it of bees, because once bees rot, then it can start causing mold and stuff to grow, and then you can just absolutely ruin the comb. At least now I've got some comb that I can use next year, and it'll hopefully boost another nuke. So it wasn't completely in vain. Oh. But you build it up and make sure the entrance is closed, like it is there. It's really bummed me out. So I'm going to go through the other colonies now and make sure they're not starved. So I'm hoping that this one's okay. It was okay. It had a decent queen, I think. The bees were doing well, and already it's positive. I can see lots of bees crawling about, so that's positive. We'll open it up and have a quick look. Yeah, so we've got a cluster here, and it looks like there's a fair amount clustered down there as well, so that's good. I'm not going to worry about going in. I know, well, there was a queen the other day, so testing it. That's 2 fingers. So these guys definitely need food, so I want to get some food for them now. I'm going to fold all 4 back just to give them extra room. Like that, and plug them on. Bloop. Right. That's all I'm doing. I'm not doing anything else. Made sure that they're alive, which is good. Give them some food, and moving on to the next ones. Now, I really, really, really hope that this colony is okay, because this was going to be my new breeder queen. So I'm just going to heft it quick. They were hefting quite heavy beforehand, so let's see. I'm getting a bloody tree attacking me. Whew. Right, let's have a look. Oh, there's loads of bees. Oh, thank God. Yeah, so there's loads of bees there. Goes down quite far, I think. Yes, so the bottom box is completely full. This cluster's doing great. Yes, so amazing. Do another quick heft. See, 2 fingers, just 3 fingers. Okay, so these guys are faring a lot better than the others were. But what I'm going to do is I'm still going to feed them. So when you're dealing with a crown board like this, where you've got 2 slots like that, figure out where the frames are. So if they're going that way, you want to put it perpendicular, so you're covering more frames this way. So I've got 2 seams here that are able to access this hole. If I was to put it this way, I'd have 1 seam. See what I mean? So I'm going to put it like this. I'm going to get some food for it. So the chances are that the bees are going to burn through this fondant super quick. So don't be too worried about that. Ugh. When these guys move in the next week or so, I will be hammering them with inverter bee. So as I've said before, the benefit of invert bee is that the bees don't have to do anything with it. They just take it straight down and pop it in the cells. They don't even have to cap it because it's so stable. So these guys will be absolutely happy as Larry soon. Just need to get through this tough bit. Right, make sure the gap is directly above the bees. Right, and they'll go investigating that soon. Now, the problem with this is that if you look, the lid's all wiggly woggly now because I've put food on. So a way to fix that is to put something called an econ, but I don't need to do that right now. What I'm going to do though is I am going to find a way of blocking that other hole up, because if anything wants to get in, it'll get in. So I'm going to use a piece of cardboard. I'm going to scoot the bees into the hole. Go on, out you go. And then I'm just going to place the cardboard over the top. Now there is enough of a clearance that when this is ratcheted down, it'll be still quite waterproof, and it'll be quite protected from other things from getting in and out. All I've done there by putting the cardboard on is just stop any drafts from getting in. There we are. It's kind of warped as well, so the lid's kind of warped to cover it, so that's good. Right, next. So this colony's been trying to kill itself for bloody ages. See what it's hefting. So it's hefting really light, so we'll see what it's like. Whenever I put a queen in, it killed the queen. Whenever I put a queen cell in, it destroyed the queen cell. It would not make a decision on how it wanted to be saved. So in the end, after using a load of resources, I just left them to it to see what they came out with. Sometimes they can just miraculously sort themselves out. They're still going. They're not as strong as they were before, but no wonder. So I'm just going to have a quick look at this one, just because I have no idea where it's up to. Yeah. Yeah, so there's literally nothing in this top box. It smells amazing in there, though. They've hit something. There's an nectar flow in there. I can smell something. So there's nothing in the top box I can see. It's light as out. And the cluster's not huge. I bet you, though, I bet this is going to be one of those colonies that really winds me up. It comes through spring, and I have no idea how it's come through spring with no queen. It's happened before. And just because the bees are stubborn. So look. There's a little bit of food there, no eggs or anything. Honestly, I'd be amazed if there were any eggs, just because there wasn't any larvae in here last time I was in. So, and there's eggs. One, and it's a well-mated queen, I think. How on earth? I have no idea how this colony has pulled this off whatsoever. So there's eggs in here. It's a well-mated queen as well. There's worker, and there's the queen. The queen's right there. Alright, I'm marking you because you're weird. Come here. Come on. Stop getting away. So, found the queen. I'll bring her to you. She's strange colouring, actually. A lot. She's like a mix of my queens. So, my queens are either black, striped, or orange with a black tip. Those are the types of queens I tend to get. This queen is mostly black around the bum, but it has a bit of a stripe nearer to the abdomen. There she is. So if you can see that very well. Yes, she's got a striped bum, and then it goes to a black tip. That's strange. So I'm going to mark the girl. She's my last successfully mated queen of the year, and I have no idea how they've managed it because they had no brood whatsoever. There we go. Got her. Right, mark a green. And there she is. That is mental. I was honestly not expecting that whatsoever. I was expecting this colony to be dying. But there she is. Healthy as hell. And all of her brood looks healthy. Brilliant. No idea where she's come from. Chances are it was another virgin queen that got lost and then found this queenless colony. It's been known to happen before, so I'm guessing that's what's happened here, because honestly, I have no idea. There's no brood whatsoever. There's no eggs. There's no anything for her to come from. And she's here. And there she goes. Incredible. So, some terrible news and some good news all at once. A bit overwhelmed. Right, close it off. Cool. Actually not. And go to the last 4, and then I'm done. So these 2 colonies are really good. Oh dear. Go away. Not going to take long for the apiary to be overgrown again. Right. Bees, lots of them. This is the second best colony in this apiary, so I'm glad that this is still going strong. This colony is filling all of this, that's good. So after 2, 3. Oh, I can only just do it on 4. So these guys are actually alright. Don't need to actually put any food on these guys. That's good. Whew. So that's going to be a pain in the ass to move because it's heavy as out. Go to the next one. So. Just heft it. 2 fingers, so this one's going to need feeding if there's bees about. Whoop. And we have... yeah, we have bees. Good. Whew. That's good. Not filling this top box, but they are filling the bottom one, so that's good. That's all right. The crown board is looking a bit battered. It's because they're not... I don't tend to paint them or anything like that, so moisture can really get to them and do some horrible work to them. But they only cost a few quid, so it's not too bad. Okay, so... Oop. Yeah. Don't attack me, I'm trying to feed you. Alright, there we are. Whoop. 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 And last one. Whoop. Right, stick that over the hole. Watch out, bees. Here I come. Make sure it's over the hole. Yep, so the bees can get to that now. That's good. Put this lid on. I'll put the bag over this so they don't get too many drafts. Put this over the top. There we go. It's not going anywhere. Good. Okay, so last 2. Right, so my guess is that these guys are going to be fine, just because I left them pretty much throughout the year after the imported queen mother died. So give them a quick heft. So that's 3. Can't do 2. So I'm still going to check just to make sure, but they're hefting at 3, so that's pretty strong. That's a pretty heavy weight. So we'll have a look. Yeah, these guys are fine. Look at that, already on the top there. To break the crown board apart. Whoop. Oh yeah, they're filling these boxes. Brilliant. Right, I'm just going to close them up. They won't need feeding. Doing great. Just have another check. 1, 2, 3. So they're moving on 3. 2, there's a bit of movement, but yeah, they'll need feeding like crazy when they get to the new home, but for now they're fine. Might give them a bit more food if it's going to take another week or so, but we'll see. That's fine for now. Right, last one. I think this is going to be in the same boat, really. So I'll try 2 fingers. Oh. 3 fingers. It is moving, but that's because it's on a very wobbly base. This floor, this hive stand has seen better days. That's why it's off at a jaunty angle. But yeah, there's loads of bees there. Loads. Let's lift up the crown board and have a quick look. Yeah, this is completely full as well. So these 2 colonies hopefully will be coming out of winter really strong. Right, close it up. I don't think I need to feed these guys. Again, if it comes to another week of not moving them, then I will, but for now they're fine. Thank you so much for watching my video. I really appreciate it. I know they take a long time to go through, so I really do appreciate it if you do watch all the way through and go through my inspections with me. If you like this content, then please hit the like button. If you want to see more content like this from throughout the year, then hit the subscribe button. I've been keeping a pretty good track of my weekly inspections through this. I've fallen off the radar a little bit. I've fallen off the track a little bit because this time of year is really busy with market stalls and stuff like that. So I've not been doing the short form content of my inspections, but hopefully I can go back during winter when it's quiet and put them up. So it means that you guys can just watch some short ones instead of having to troll through the whole 2-hour ones. So I've got 2 Facebook groups that you can join. I've got Nonsensical Beekeeping, which made as a joke, but more and more people are joining. So join if you want. Put some silly stories on, tell us how you're doing, whatever, anything goes on that one. I'm happy for anyone to post on there. I think it's good fun, and the more people who join, the better it gets, isn't it? I've got Merseyside Beekeepers as well, so if you can affect a Scouse accent, or if you live in the area, then feel free to join. That was made just so groups of us can come together and buy big batches of stuff together. Makes it cheaper when you buy in bulk, so that's what that was mainly for. It's also good for doing like little alerts in the area as well. But if you can affect a Scouse accent, feel free to join. I've got someone that's in Scotland that's joined that one, so yeah, hello John. Anyway, I hope you have a really good day, and I hope to see you soon. Bye bye.